Good morning, everybody. It's a Monday, the 27th of July, and this is actually, I think, about number 78 of my live videos. Now, news kind of updates, weather-wise, very dreich, we would call it in Scotland. It's that fine rain that wets you, we often say. But I'm cosy. Well, I'm saying cosy inside. I actually had the heating on, and I've got just a wee scarf, but it's really not feeling like summer. But anyway, I'm staying as positive as we can, and this week's all positive stuff, hopefully. Another news update for me is, woohoo, I've got the dentist this week. Apparently they've come back. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I broke my front tooth and it knocked the other one out. I've got a kind of space. So they were just in the process of sorting all of that out for me when there was lockdown. Now I could have gone into a decline and not done any live videos, but I thought, no, we just need to keep. It's me. Just I tend to talk anyway that you don't really see maybe my top teeth as much, but I will have a fabulous smile soon. Fingers crossed. So. Mellow Monday, I called it. Mellow Monday. And I was thinking, mellow, yeah. What does that mean? I was thinking it means being more laid back, especially in these difficult times. So we really should be trying to become more mellow. During the lockdown and now, particularly I think now because there's a lot of uncertainty, we're feeling anxious, we're stressed, changes in government decisions, the comings and goings of everything. I think people are actually becoming probably more stressed. So we're the lockdown, I think, for lots of people has also maybe made them even more driven, doing lots of things, hoping to fill your days so full that they pass quickly. So you can end up, when you're doing that, you can end up even more stressed and overwhelmed. So you need to think of ways to chill out and, of course, actually chill out. Not just think of ways, but actually do it. So I think it's quite good to ask yourself some questions. So, do you obsess over things? Do you overthink? Are you always doing something? Are you always rushing around? Is your mind always so full or over full it feels as if your head's going to explode? Well, if you've answered yes or one or more of these questions or all of them, this will make you feel stressed when you do this. You're thinking all the time. You are someone who's stressed and anxious. So you need to have downtime, chill time. Learn how to be more laid back. And I mean without turning to alcohol or other kind of, well, today's on the news is about obesity, so stop turning to alcohol and chocolates. Mine would have been chocolate. I'm having more willpower nowadays. So I used to think, there was one chap interviewed, was it Tom Watson this morning, who said that if somebody gave him a packet of biscuits, he couldn't eat one. Well, that was me. That is me. I've got to be very careful. Give me a packet of biscuits and I can't just take one. I thought I've got to finish that whole packet. I'm not that now. I've become, my willpower's getting better. So moderation to me is key. So have your wee drink, but don't just turn to alcohol all the time as a chill down, or the chocolates or other things. I think we get quite obsessive. Even talking, we were talking, I think, in one of my videos, I see people running, doing a 10k every morning, and they've got to get to the 10k and they've got to get to the 20k. Now that's fine if you're maybe wanting to be an Olympic champion, but I think if they're not working out their minds, they can become extremely aggressive. And I have seen it with some clients over the years. They don't know why, and they say, but I work out, I'm really fit, I'm watching what I eat, I'm watching what I do, and you can feel them talking faster and faster, and you're going, chill. Just think, do some mind exercises, and that's where maybe yoga and meditations is good. So let's think. Anxiety happens when you're always looking to the future, thinking of the what ifs, worrying over everything, worrying over things you have no control over. You just get stressed out. You get more and more stressed that you actually stop enjoying the present. So you probably go on autopilot. I think that's the problem. We go into autopilot, and that autopilot becomes a habit. You've got your routines. There are demands that you give yourself. There are demands from yourself. There are demands from others, demands from family, and you just keep going. So you need some tips to learn to be more in control of your life and more in control of going a bit slower. But when you go slower, you can still be effective, probably more effective and efficient. So it's like a lot of these things are my broken record again. The first tip I would say is hold on to your vision. Have you got that inspiration or that aspiration board close to hand, or your bucket list in a jar, or your journal? Think about how you would really like to live each day more slowly, less hectic, less anxious. When you have a vision, then you can set goals that will lead you to that vision. But of course, first you need to prioritise these goals. Get rid of the old goals, replace them with new ones, but be realistic. Remember, we talked about this before. I sometimes don't like goal setting because we tend to write, I could write 100 things I want to do, and I know full well I wouldn't get through all of them. So be realistic. If you are somebody who writes lots of these goals, what I do is, if I've got a huge list and I only manage to get through 2 or 3, then at night I think, do you know what? Pat myself on the back. These were the 2 I was meant to do. So when you write all these lists, of course, you can overwhelm yourself and you can get irritated with yourself. And I don't know, some people might be like this. You look at this huge list and that overwhelms you and you don't even start. So try to be realistic and just pull yourself back and kind of chill a bit even with your lists. You need time and space even for a moment or two. And you can do this by using my B, particularly the breathing. And I've talked a lot about this. Many of us, no matter where we're living, who we're living with, we tend not to take time and space to ourselves because you think, oh, I need a 10 minutes, I need a 15 minutes, I need a day. You don't really. You can actually manage on a couple of minutes or so. And where have I said you have to take yourself off to? The bathroom. Just go somewhere that you can be alone and lock the door so that people know you can't be disturbed. I know that's difficult because if you've got small children, I know that even when I used to take myself off to the bathroom, you'd have a knocking on the door and they're wanting in and it's mummy, mummy, mummy. But try and kind of let the voices out there kind of escape you and just take that couple of minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. And if you even just take one just now, like breathe in through the nose and exhale, you actually feel that you're relaxing at that moment. You're letting the stress and anxiety go. Now, it's a suggestion that if you are somebody who's working out, you're going for that run round the park and more, you're trying to beat your time. I know that when you're exercising, you're told to limber up so that your muscles get, I think you have to loosen up the muscles. So while you're doing that, why don't you take time to do a deep breathing and even just close your eyes for a second or two and just visualise and imagine yourself. You've achieved that run round the park. Now, I know I joke, I do exercise, but not excessively. But I can go with you round that park in my mind. And there's some research has shown that you can actually tone up your muscles by doing that. So I feel good and I can listen to what people do and watch what they do and just visualise it in my head. So you also need to look inward. Take a good look at yourself and ask yourself some more questions. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? I bet none of us do that. It seems a bit alien, you get up in the morning and you're just straight into the routine. But why don't you take a moment or two to see, how am I feeling? Am I rushing around? Why am I rushing around? Is there a need to rush around? So I think we're also stopped, or the pushed to rushing around by the little voices in your head. Now, I've talked about this before, so another kind of broken record, but I'm talking about these little negative voices that tell you, oh, you can't slow down, there's too much to do. This doesn't mean that you give up. Stop listening to the negative. Stop what you're doing just for a second or two and think, do I need to be rushing around? So it's a good idea to take a break. I know that sometimes if I get involved, particularly maybe on the computer, and I've been doing a lot of work on the computer, I can get so absorbed with it all that I forget to take a break, and suddenly you look at the clock and even the day has almost passed. So it's an important thing, maybe even having a post-it note or something beside your computer just to see, have you had a break? Just get something bright yellow or pink that catches your eye and think, oh no, I haven't had a break. I know that's difficult, particularly if you're maybe doing reports or writing things, because you can lose your train of thought. Something I thought of when I'm involved in something on the computer. It sometimes takes a bit more time to have a break and come back to it. You think you almost have to start again, but that's maybe better than being completely overwhelmed. So take a break. When you take a break, you're not exhausted, and actually by taking that break and the breathing, you're actually slowing down. You think there's too much to do, but in fact, it doesn't mean you're giving up work. You're actually stopping what you're doing perhaps for that moment or two, but you can go back to it being even more efficient, more effective. And by doing the breaks often, you're building up the habit of the slow down, and it's slowing down in everything you do. When you do this, your mental health improves. You feel better, you'll be less stressed, less anxious. And I bet some of us, in fact, I'm thinking back to before lockdown, but some of you who were out at work and you were looking forward to the weekend, and you thought, right, I'm going to relax at the weekend, and you actually get home and you think, oh, I've got the house to clean, I've got the washing to do, you've got so many things to do. And sometimes even I've had actually clients say to me, why do I get a migraine at the weekend? I've managed to kind of get myself going throughout the week. And that's because you're maybe in a situation where you want to relax and suddenly your migraine comes on or your headache comes on, and you lose the weekend. So you're either rushing through the weekend or you've got the headache the whole weekend. Sometimes it takes us a while to wind down. Have you ever you've gone on holiday and it takes you about 2 or 3 days to wind down, and then suddenly your holiday's over? So that's why maybe we need the 2 weeks or even more sometimes. But it's a funny thing. I think you just have to, if you're using this method, this habit of trying to slow down and take a break each day, you maybe won't have these difficulties. And of course, it doesn't mean you have to spend money. You don't have to rush out to the shops and spend lots of money. Go for a walk, read a book, or just do the ABC. Think of yourself and say, I slow down, and a deep breath, and just visualize yourself in a calm place. I'll be doing that meditation later. And of course, you can still do some cleaning, you can still do some work at the weekend. And if you remember my FA, not the horrible word F, but you either work on an FA or an essay. Now, FA is full attention, but most of us do everything with only some attention. And a simple example would be going to the shop. So you go to the supermarket and you're walking along the aisles, but your mind, instead of maybe thinking about what you're going to buy, your mind's actually on, oh, I need to pick somebody up from school, I need to do this, and suddenly your mind again is all full. So really you should have full attention on every little task you do. And when you pay attention to that, you're focusing on your gut reactions. Now this next tip is a good one for me. Learn to say no. And for this, ask yourself more questions, and I probably could answer yes to all of these. Do you sometimes feel as if you've a message on your forehead that says mug? Are you always the one taking on more work? Are you unable to say no because you feel you'll let people down? Do you automatically put your hand up when somebody asks you for a volunteer or you're in the committee? I know I was somebody like that. Nobody would come forward and you think, right, I could do that. So your hand goes up and suddenly you're the secretary of the committee, you're the chair, you're speaking for everybody. And you do this probably, you want to do it, but you probably also want to do it because then it makes you feel needed. Now, if it becomes too much, of course, we're very reluctant to say this is becoming too much. But you actually should. You should have the courage to tell others that you've changed your mind. I don't think I ever did this, but maybe I have lessons to learn there as well. You will feel guilty, but that's okay. You need to take care of yourself first, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of others either, and you'll just be stressed and anxious and overwhelmed. Another one I wasn't good at is delegate. Do you find it difficult to delegate? I know I do. And sometimes I sometimes feel, I could do this quicker myself, or even better, if I'm being maybe my arrogant side there, saying, I could do this better. And I remember I helped a colleague many years ago. I was kind of a better typist. I just typed more quickly. But she had to write up a report and she said, would I help her with the content? So I was standing over her shoulder and honestly, it was the one-fingered thing. And I was itching to push her aside and go, just you talk and I'll type. And I thought, no, I have to hold back. But that's the kind of feeling you get. It wasn't, I thought, I'd help her more if I was getting through it quicker. But actually, I wasn't really. If that's the way she was going about it. But if you feel like that, I'm sure some of you do, you can get a bit frustrated and you want just to jump in there. And this is probably because you're a bit of a perfectionist. I know I am. I need maybe to control this. So I do. I think if you're always doing everything, then you'll always have lots to do. And that's what you've got to think about. And actually, you'll end up having a much bigger list. So take deep breaths and just a deep breath in and then relax and consider what's important to you. Your health, your mental health, your physical health, and then learn to prioritise. What is important, what is less important. And so when someone asks you to help others, you might be anxious at first, but you need to let go and just delegate some of the tasks. This is natural, of course, to want to do things, but if you let go, you're actually taking better care of yourself. Now, another thing I think we do, we jump in and say yes, maybe far too quickly. So don't always respond to others. Think back to my effective communication model, and I talked about this in a previous video. And it's about there's 4 steps, and it works in family life, in work, wherever you go, and it helps you to slow down. It's particularly effective at work. So the first step is focus and attend. So that means if somebody's asking you to do something, listen carefully to them. And the next step is acknowledge, and that's nod, yes, okay. That's not you saying you'll do it. The step of acknowledging is just to let them know you are listening to them. The next step, which is so often missed in any communication, is clarify. So we're so busy going, and you're probably in your mind going, I want to say no, but I'll say yes. So you need to be careful. Clarify. What is it you want me to do again? How many days a week would this be? Is it every night? Is it? So clarify. And you're helping yourself make that decision eventually. Now, the next step is respond. Now, people confuse this. They think that's you ready to say yes or no. It isn't. Respond means Do you know, I've a lot to think about. I'll need a few days to think about this. You respond in a way that's comfortable for you. But we're so anxious sometimes to go, yes, I'll do that. And it could be for many reasons. We feel needed, we feel valued, we think, oh, this is them asking me, etc. But actually, you're just doing yourself a sort of disservice. Now, what happens after the respond if you say, I'll need a few days to think about this? Then you go back through the circle again. You can approach them again where they have to focus and attend for you. Then acknowledge, clarify, respond. And that can go round a few times. But hopefully by following these steps, you actually reach, you understand your priorities and you're being proactive. And you end up hopefully with a decision that's not just comfortable for you, but actually is mutually acceptable. So you're building into this by planning and being proactive. You're building in your priorities, and by doing this, you're taking care of your wants and needs. The next one, of course, is, and I've hopefully through all these live videos, is practice my ABC. Make this your good habit because it reduces stress, it reduces anxiety, but they're easy to do. Of course, plan some adventures for yourself. Put some things on that list or on your to-do calendar that is for you. It can be in your calendar, your journal, your diary, or whatever. And it doesn't need to be something where you're spending money. And often, probably throughout this time, we've had less money where there's uncertainty about what the future holds for you. So go for a walk. Or just if you're used to taking sandwiches, if you're still at work, then take a break. Don't eat the sandwiches as you're still working at the computer. Maybe if you can, another colleague, just take time or go into the cafeteria a bit, if there is one. If there isn't, just lunch with a friend instead of rushing through that sandwich. So it gives you time out over that lunch. If you're eating alone, somebody, in fact, when I was growing up, I was told this, and I don't think I ever did it, but when you're eating alone, I think the Buddhists and monks do it, try to take 40 chews to every bite. Now, it's almost impossible, but if you slow down your eating, maybe not 40 chews, but if you do slow down your eating, you will enjoy the taste. And you'll feel less bloated, actually. You will feel you've enjoyed your meal. I think I was sent away to school, and I think that some of the things that happened to me is you had to rush through your school at lunch. So it was rush, and maybe out to play with friends or back into class. And that seemed to follow me. It was rushing through my food. I was always the first to finish my food when, as I'm older. And then I just to slow down and think, no, I can take time here to eat every bite and enjoy it. So try that. It's interesting when you slow down in all walks of your life. You will feel less stressed. You will feel less anxious. So hopefully that has helped. And of course, what else do I always end with? Smile. It costs you nothing. It's a mellow Monday. The rain is coming down. The grass needs the rain. The flowers need the rain. But smile and you feel happier, and you make other people feel happier. And of course, for Mellow Monday, our affirmations could be for ourselves. I feel valued. I am respected. I plan mellow moments every day. So if you have these as your affirmations on a wee card or on a post-it note, it reminds you just to take time to do that. And of course, we've got our Mind Bites meditation to end with. And I thought I'd use the calm lake today and just maybe a mellow place. The rain could be falling. It doesn't actually matter because we're inside and we have to kind of shoulders back, feel really confident, the spine straight, because you can still be relaxed, but not sort of all hunched up and, immediately feel down if you crumple your shoulders. Shoulders back, head up as if there's a string kind of pulling your head to the ceiling. Now, when I do my meditations, this meditation is very good. It's It helps you to be still. It helps you to value yourself and respect yourself, and it calms your mind. Now, I used to do this meditation and I would put myself in the boat, and we might do that. But if you're uncomfortable with water, you don't need to go in the boat. You can sit on the sand and just watch the lovely calm lake. In fact, just a wee story before I go into this. I've said it before, but I was doing this with a group, and as I was saying, we were in the boat and I heard this and it was like a panic attack. So I immediately in the meditation, brought everybody back onto the sand. And I spoke to the person later, and she said to me, I don't like water. I was panicking immediately we were in the water. And Eddie, who's got my recording studio chap, just a shout out to Stealth Studios. He's fabulous with me, gets me to smile when I'm doing voiceovers, wonderful techniques. And I was telling him about this when I said to this person, what if I put your boss on the boat? Oh, she said that would be fine. So I did think we might do some black humour meditations. That might not go down very well, of course, because we're trying to calm people. We don't want to make fun of everybody. But it was an idea. So on to the calm lake. Feet on the ground, we need to be grounded, and we need our shoulders back. And the thank you very much for watching and listening, everybody, and for your messages there. Hi Beth, Debbie, I think Alex was on earlier, and Dave. Fabulous, thank you very much. It inspires me. So let's go into the meditation before I start rabbling on. Close your eyes, sitting upright, and take a deep breath in through the nose and then exhale. Take another deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. Now imagine you're standing beside a calm lake. The sun is shining down. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face. You feel relaxed. You feel calm. The water is like a mirror, flat and calm. Sit down at the side of the lake. Lie down if you can, if the ground is dry. Feel the sand or the grass on your hands. The sun is shining down, reflecting on the water. You feel the heat of the sun flow through your body and mind. Listen. There is no sound. You enjoy the rest and tranquility. Your mind is now calm. You feel at peace. Your mind is still. Breathe in the warm air. Feel it flow through your body. Now take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale. Slowly open your eyes and say to yourself, I feel warm. I feel relaxed. I am calm. I am worthy and valued. I feel at peace. And then shake your shoulders, shuggle as we say up here. Shake your shoulders, maybe stretch your arms and yawn. Now I hope you've enjoyed that. And again, you're an inspiration. You inspire me by having so many people watch and listen. Thank you very much. And I hope you've taken to heart today that slow down, just take a break and stop your mind from just being overfilled with lots of things that actually end up getting nothing done. So take a step back and chill and have a mellow Monday. And I'll be back on Wednesday, 10 o'clock. I've got some thoughts again, maybe kind-hearted Wednesday, not sure, but if you want me to talk about any topic, please private message me or post on Facebook. Please, I accept any suggestions, constructive, of course, and positive. Laughter is the best medicine, so smile is free, costs you nothing. Laughter is the best medicine. And virtual hugs to everybody. Remember, if you are alone, you can still hug yourself. I know that looked a wee bit creepy when we first did it all these videos ago, but the warmth of your hands, even on yourself, can help. So virtual hugs to everybody, and thanks again for watching, and see you Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Bye just now.